I'll just say one thing, get ready for what's coming, because Kentucky is much more surprising and much crazier than you could ever imagine, and when you get to the end of the data, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Let's start with fact number 50, the Commonwealth's unique political title. Kentucky is one of only 4 states in the entire United States that officially designates itself as a Commonwealth instead of a state. The others are Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. This distinction is rooted in the state's historical ties to Virginia, as Kentucky was originally a county of Virginia before achieving statehood in 1792. While the term Commonwealth carries no real legal difference from state under the U.S. Constitution today, it's primarily a traditional title. It does reflect the early framers' belief in a government founded upon the commonwealth, or the general good of the people. It's a subtle but important linguistic and historical nod that signals a unique political heritage, a small verbal echo of the early days of the Republic, setting Kentucky just a little apart from the other 46 states. 49. The world's largest free-swinging bell. The World Peace Bell, located in Newport, Kentucky, which is directly across the Ohio River from Cincinnati, Ohio, is certified as the largest free-swinging bell in the world. This massive bronze structure stands over 12 feet tall and weighs a staggering 33,000 pounds. 48. The official state soft drink is not what you'd expect. When you think of a beverage from Kentucky, your mind jumps straight to a mint julep or a glass of fine bourbon naturally. However, the official soft drink of the Commonwealth is actually Ale 8-1. This unique ginger citrus flavored soda has been bottled in Winchester, Kentucky since 1926. It is a regional treasure and remains largely unknown outside of Kentucky, but inside the state, it holds a fiercely loyal following. The fact that this specific locally owned and operated ginger ale has been elevated to official state status over more widely recognized national brands truly speaks to the deep-seated pride and commitment to local flavor and tradition that is a hallmark of Kentucky culture. 47. The massive scale of the limestone industry. Kentucky sits on a foundation of massive limestone deposits, and this geological bounty plays a crucial, often invisible, far role in both the state's economy and its most famous export, bourbon. The state's limestone is not only used extensively in construction, including in many historical buildings across the country, but it also naturally filters the water that flows through it. This natural filtration process removes iron, a flavor inhibitor, while adding high concentrations of calcium and magnesium, which are essential for yeast during fermentation. 46. The original Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant is a historical landmark. While KFC has become a global fast food giant, most people don't realize that the very first place Colonel Sanders served his world-famous fried chicken was at the Sanders Court and Cafe in Corbin, Kentucky. It wasn't a dedicated fast food restaurant initially. It was a combined service station and motel where Colonel Sanders refined his secret recipe and pressure frying technique. Today, the location is still operating as a restaurant and museum, meticulously preserved to show its 1940s appearance. Before continuing, be sure to subscribe to discover hidden stories and curiosities about every U.S. state that no one else will tell you. 45. The state's unique geographical division. Kentucky is a state that is divided not just by politics and culture, but also by a distinct geographical feature that sets its history apart. The state is divided into 4 primary geological regions: the Cumberland Plateau, or Appalachian Plateau, the Bluegrass region, the Pennyroyal Plateau, and the Jackson Purchase. This diverse geography explains the wildly different landscapes and economies across the state. From the rugged coal mining areas of the east to the fertile limestone-rich horse farms of the bluegrass and the low-lying agricultural lands of the west. It's a stunning spectrum of American landscape contained within one state's borders, each region having a unique character that is almost like a separate state unto itself. 44. The secret ingredient in world-class thoroughbreds. The famed bluegrass region's soil is considered the absolute best in the world for raising thoroughbred horses, and the science behind it is fascinating. The local limestone bedrock, which we touched on earlier, is incredibly rich in calcium. This high calcium content is absorbed by the bluegrass grown in the pastures, which is then consumed by the grazing mares and their foals. 43. The invention of the modern-day traffic light. The world owes a debt of gratitude to a Kentuckian for an invention that manages the flow of traffic on every major street and highway, the modern-day traffic signal. Garrett Morgan, an African-American inventor born in Paris, Kentucky, patented an early version of the traffic light in 1923, which was revolutionary for its three-position system: stop, go, and an intermediary caution signal. 42. Kentucky's own distinct local cuisine, the hot brown. While often associated with Southern cooking, Kentucky boasts a signature dish that is entirely its own and far more decadent than standard fare: the hot brown sandwich. This open-faced delight was invented at the Brown Hotel in Louisville in 1926 as a late-night snack for hungry dancers. It's built on a slice of Texas toast, topped with slices of roasted turkey, smothered in a rich Mornay sauce, and then baked until bubbly. It's then crowned with a couple of strips of crispy bacon and often a few tomato slices. 41. The state's historical connection to gold reserve security. The sheer volume and value of the gold held at the United States Bullion Depository at Fort Knox is staggering. While the exact amount changes, this location near Louisville holds a significant portion of the country's official gold reserves. The massive granite-lined and bomb-proof vault is guarded by some of the most stringent security measures in the world: layers of guards, an electric fence, and a door that weighs over 20 tons and is never opened by a single person, as multiple combinations are required. 40. The Kentucky Derby's astronomical mint julep consumption. The Kentucky Derby is known for hats, horses, and the signature drink, the mint julep. The amount of the cocktail consumed on the first Saturday in May at Churchill Downs is truly staggering. On average, over the two-day event, nearly 120,000 mint juleps are sold to patrons. This phenomenal consumption requires a colossal amount of ingredients, including approximately 1,000 pounds of fresh mint, 60,000 pounds of ice, and an astounding 10,000 bottles of Old Forester mint julep ready-to-serve cocktail, making it one of the single largest cocktail serving events in the world. A true monument to liquid merriment. 39. The state's unexpected birthplace of the Happy Birthday song. The melody for the world's most recognizable song, Happy Birthday to You, was actually composed by two sisters from Louisville, Kentucky, named Patty and Mildred Hill. They first wrote the tune in 1893, initially calling it Good Morning to All, intended as a simple song for children to sing to each other at the start of the school day. The song's familiar melody was later adapted to the Happy Birthday lyrics we all know and was, for decades, subject to one of the most complicated and famous copyright battles in modern history. The simple, globally known tune, sung at millions of celebrations every single day, is a Kentucky-born creation. 38. The world's largest manufacturer of peanut butter. In an interesting industrial twist that counters the common food narratives of the state, the city of Lexington, Kentucky, is home to the largest peanut butter production facility in the entire world. The Jif plant, operated by the J.M. Smucker Company, produces an astronomical amount of the creamy and crunchy spread annually. This facility is so enormous and its output so significant that it is capable of producing more peanut butter than any other single location globally. 37. The governor's oath to avoid duels. A remarkable historical law still requires the governor of Kentucky, upon taking office, to swear an oath that they have never fought a duel with deadly weapons. This peculiar requirement is a direct leftover from the early 19th century, a time when dueling was a common, if illegal, way for politicians and gentlemen to settle disputes of honor. Though the practice has long faded into history, the oath remains enshrined in the state's constitution, a quirky but tangible reminder of a bygone era of political combat and a symbolic commitment to more civilized forms of debate. It's a small, archaic formality that speaks volumes about the state's fiery past and its deep historical roots. 36. Kentucky's unique place in American wine history. Long before California and even New York's Finger Lakes became synonymous with American viticulture, Kentucky was home to the first commercial vineyard and winery established in the United States. In 1799, a Swiss-born vintner named Jean-Jacques Dufour established the vineyard, called First Vineyard, near Lexington. Dufour was a pioneer who experimented with various European grape species in the new American soil. While the industry eventually collapsed due to disease and prohibition, the historical fact remains that the very first organized attempt to create a commercial American wine industry was bravely launched in the rolling hills of the Bluegrass State. 35. the only American city built within a meteor crater. The city of Middlesboro, Kentucky holds the unique distinction of being the only major American city to be built entirely inside a massive meteor impact crater. The Middlesboro crater, formed approximately 300 million years ago, is about 3 miles in diameter, and the entire city of Middlesboro lies within its geological confines. This incredible geological formation is a rarely acknowledged wonder, providing a stunning natural bowl for the city's location. 34. The Corvette's exclusive home. If you drive a Chevrolet Corvette anywhere in the world, it was built exclusively in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The Corvette assembly plant has been the sole manufacturer of the iconic American sports car since 1981. Making Bowling Green the Corvette capital of the world. The sheer scale of this operation is immense, producing hundreds of thousands of these high-performance vehicles over the decades. 33. The Mammoth Cave system's immense scale. When people talk about caves, they often mention Mammoth Cave, but the sheer size of this natural wonder is often understated. Mammoth Cave National Park is home to the longest known cave system in the world, with over 420 miles of passageways mapped so far, and new explorations continue to expand that number. To put that in perspective, the known passages are so long that if you could somehow unroll them and lay them out in a straight line, they would stretch across the entire state of Kentucky more than 4 times over. 32. The state's unexpected status as a top hardwood producer. While the bluegrass is famous for its pastures, nearly half of Kentucky is covered in forests, and the state is a major national producer of high-quality hardwood timber. The diverse mix of hardwood trees, including various species of oak, hickory, and maple, is highly sought after for furniture making, flooring, and cabinetry across the country. This robust timber industry is a massive economic driver, quietly operating behind the scenes, far from the spotlight of the horse farms and distilleries. 31. The moonbow's unique appearance. The Cumberland Falls at Cumberland Falls State Resort Park is one of the very few places on the entire planet where a natural phenomenon known as a moonbow can be regularly observed. Often called the Niagara of the South, this waterfall creates a massive mist cloud, and on clear nights with a full moon, the light refracts off the mist droplets to form a nocturnal rainbow. This spectacular sight, which is essentially a rainbow at night, is one of the most unique and beautiful natural occurrences in the Western Hemisphere, attracting a stream of visitors to the park specifically around the time of the full moon each month. 30. The bizarre historical road tax system. In a strange historical echo, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, for many years, had a peculiar system for funding its roads and bridges. A tax on bachelors. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, some Kentucky counties levied a special tax on unmarried men over a certain age. And the logic behind this unusual financial policy was rooted in the belief that unmarried men were less productive to society and had more disposable income than their married counterparts who were busy raising families. 29. The state's massive air cargo hub. When you think of global logistics, your mind probably jumps to massive coastal ports, but one of the world's most critical air cargo hubs is actually located in Louisville, Kentucky. The UPS Worldport at Louisville International Airport is the largest fully automated package handling facility on the planet, serving as the central nexus for UPS's entire global air network. The facility is so massive that it covers over 5.2 million square feet. That's equivalent to about 90 American football fields, and processes an average of 416,000 packages per hour, utilizing 17,000 miles of conveyor belts. 28. The curious case of the feral horse population. Beyond the perfectly groomed thoroughbreds of the bluegrass, Kentucky is also home to a unique population of feral horses that roam free within the boundaries of the Red River Gorge area of the Daniel Boone National Forest. These horses are not native wildlife, but are descendants of domestic horses that were either released or escaped decades ago. They maintain a semi-wild existence, managed by local conservation groups to ensure their health and the preservation of the delicate forest ecosystem. 27. The deep historical roots of Kentucky barbecue. While many states lay claim to barbecue perfection, Kentucky has a distinct and traditional style that stands alone, revolving not around pork shoulder or beef brisket, but mutton, adult sheep. Western Kentucky, particularly around the Owensboro area, is considered the mutton barbecue capital of the world, and their unique tradition involves slow smoking whole sheep over hickory and basting them in a tart, vinegar-based dip. This is a deeply rooted culinary tradition tied to the area's historical wool production and farming practices. 26. The world's first indoor shopping mall. The city of Southgate, Kentucky, located just across the river from Cincinnati, was home to the world's very first enclosed, air-conditioned shopping mall. The Town and Country Shopping Center, which opened its doors in 1956, was a groundbreaking architectural and commercial concept. Before this, shopping centers were open-air strip malls, but Town and Country offered shoppers a climate-controlled environment, revolutionary for its time. 25. The unexpected scale of tobacco production. Despite the national decline in tobacco use, Kentucky remains one of the top tobacco-producing states in the United States, consistently ranking high in annual production figures. The burley tobacco grown in the state in particular is valued for its ability to absorb flavors and its use in many blended products worldwide. The scale of the harvest and curing process, involving thousands of farms and millions of pounds of the crop, is an economic backbone for several regions. 24. The only state with a continuous natural gas fire. The burning spring at the Big Sandy River in eastern Kentucky is a remarkable natural phenomenon that has been burning for hundreds of years. This small spring constantly emits natural gas, which is naturally ignited and perpetually burns. A visible and accessible display of the region's rich underground fossil fuel deposits. This continuous flame has been documented by explorers and settlers since the 1700s, and is a testament to the raw, concentrated geological energy beneath the Appalachian region of Kentucky. 23. The state's quiet role in global baseball bat production. The distinctive sound of a baseball bat connecting with a pitch often originates in Kentucky. Louisville Slugger, the world's most famous and largest bat manufacturer, is based in Louisville, Kentucky. The company has been making bats since 1884, using high-quality ash and maple wood sourced primarily from forests in Pennsylvania and New York, though the creation, shaping, and finishing processes are centralized in Kentucky. 22. The surprising concentration of piano manufacturing. In an unexpected twist of industrial history, the city of Lexington, Kentucky, was once a major hub for piano manufacturing in the United States. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the industry flourished, utilizing the abundant local hardwoods and access to river transport to move the massive instruments. Brands like the Lexington Piano Company were well regarded nationwide. While the manufacturing boom has since passed, this historical footnote reveals a surprising past where Kentucky was not just a home for agricultural and military goods, but also a significant center for sophisticated manufacturing and a quiet contributor to America's musical heritage. 21. The unique tradition of the Kentucky Waterways Museum. The state's reliance on water transportation is celebrated in a truly unique way at the Kentucky Waterways Museum, which is not a building but rather housed entirely within a historic, fully restored sternwheel steamboat called the W.P. Snyder Jr. This operational boat, permanently docked on the Ohio River, is the last intact steam-powered sternwheel towboat left in the country. It serves as a floating museum, educating visitors about the critical role of river systems and steamboats in the state's economic development, particularly before the widespread use of trains and highways. 20. The record-breaking height of the state capitol dome. The current Kentucky State Capitol in Frankfort, completed in 1910, features an enormous dome that is substantially taller than you might think. From the ground floor to the very top of the lantern, the dome rises 208 feet high. This height is comparable to a 20-story building, making it a dominating feature of the Frankfurt skyline. The sheer scale and intricate French Renaissance design, meant to project permanence and authority, is often overlooked when compared to the federal capital. 19. The only state border determined by a waterfall. Kentucky's border with Tennessee is defined by a bizarre and specific geographical feature. For a stretch, the border follows the course of the Cumberland River until it hits the high water mark of a cliff near the Cumberland Falls, and then the boundary takes a sudden, sharp, and seemingly arbitrary turn. This specific, confusing delineation is a result of a 1780s survey, one of the many convoluted border disputes of the early American Republic, where the surveyors used this prominent waterfall as an unmoving landmark. 18. The state's central role in early transcontinental aviation. The Standiford Field, Louisville International Airport, in the early days of aviation, was a critical stop and refueling point for transcontinental air travel. Due to its central location in the country, it served as a vital link for the first airmail and passenger routes crossing the United States. The early airfields of Kentucky were key operational centers, proving the viability of long-distance flight. This historical role is often forgotten, but Kentucky provided the geographic and technical support that helped build the foundation for the massive commercial aviation system we rely on today, making it an unexpected pioneer in American air travel. Thus, 17. The world's largest enclosed baseball bat. A testament to the state's pride in its Louisville Slugger heritage, the Louisville Slugger Museum is marked by a truly colossal sculpture, the world's largest enclosed baseball bat. This massive replica of Babe Ruth's bat, crafted entirely out of steel, stands 120 feet tall and weighs 68,000 pounds. This incredible scale makes it roughly the size of a 7-story office building turned on its end. 16. The state's deep commitment to hydroelectric power. Kentucky has invested heavily in harnessing the energy of its extensive river systems, particularly the Tennessee River. The state is home to the Kentucky Dam, one of the largest dams operated by the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA. This structure is over a mile long, and its massive hydroelectric plant generates enough clean, reliable electricity to power hundreds of thousands of homes annually. 15. The unofficial capital of American toy making. In a surprising industrial pivot, the city of Maysville, Kentucky was once known as the toy capital of the world. Beginning in the late 19th century, the city was home to the Kenner Toy Company, which produced some of the most iconic toys in American history, including the Easy Bake Oven and various action figures. The manufacturing plants employed thousands and were a crucial source of innovation and production for the entire toy industry for decades. 14. The state's unprecedented number of counties. Kentucky has a remarkable and somewhat inconvenient administrative structure. It is home to 120 counties. This is an exceptionally high number compared to the size and population of the state, ranking it among the states with the most counties in the U.S. This fragmented political geography is largely a legacy of the state's early settlement history. When Kentucky was first settled, travel was difficult, and citizens demanded that the county seat be no further than a day's ride from any resident. This resulted in the constant splitting of counties into smaller, more manageable administrative units, a decision that has left the state with a highly decentralized and often complex local governance structure. 13. The historical connection to early film preservation. The University of Kentucky's libraries have quietly become a significant center for the preservation and study of early motion pictures. They house one of the largest collections of 16mm films and early silent film reels in the United States. This specialized archive works to restore and protect historically important films that would otherwise be lost to decay, making Kentucky an unlikely but essential cultural guardian of early American cinema. 12. The world's largest water-powered grist mill. The Falls of Rough Grist Mill in Grayson County, Kentucky, holds the historical distinction of being the largest water-powered mill in the world. This massive mill, built in the mid-19th century, was an economic behemoth, using the powerful flow of the Rough River to grind hundreds of thousands of bushels of corn and wheat annually. 11. The surprising invention of the refrigerator car. The modern cold chain logistics system owes a surprising debt to Kentucky. In the 1870s, a Kentucky entrepreneur invented and patented the first successful and widely used railway refrigerator car. And this innovation was critical for transporting perishable goods, particularly meat and dairy, across vast distances without spoilage. It revolutionized the American diet and the structure of the national economy, allowing food products from the South and Midwest to reach distant markets reliably for the first time. Before we get to the 10 facts that corroborate what I told you at the beginning, remember to subscribe to the channel and give it a like to become experts in American geography. 10. The deep historical significance of Big Bone Lick. Kentucky is home to one of the most important paleontological sites in North America, Big Bone Lick State Historic Site. This site, often referred to as the birthplace of American vertebrate paleontology, is where massive deposits of Ice Age animal bones were discovered. attracting the attention of early American scientific minds, including Thomas Jefferson. The Lick, an area where natural salt deposits drew large herbivores, yielded bones from massive extinct creatures like woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, and mastodons. 9. The state's central location in the American auto industry. While Detroit is the historical heart of American car manufacturing, Kentucky has quietly become a crucial, centralized hub for the modern automotive industry. The state is home to several massive assembly plants for major international automakers, including Ford and General Motors. These facilities produce some of the best-selling vehicles in the nation, like trucks and SUVs, operating with immense efficiency and employing tens of thousands of people. 8. The first successful surgery to remove an ovary. In a landmark medical achievement that dramatically advanced surgical techniques, the first ovariotomy, surgical removal of an ovarian tumor, to be successfully performed in the world took place in 1809 in Danville, Kentucky. Dr. Ephraim McDowell performed this pioneering operation on Jane Todd Crawford, at a time when abdominal surgery was widely considered a death sentence due to infection and lack of antiseptic knowledge. The patient survived for another 32 years, proving the procedure viable. 7. The state's unexpected position as a national ham capital. Kentucky is famous for bourbon and horses, but it also reigns supreme in the world of cured meats, specifically for country ham. The state is recognized nationally for producing some of the highest quality dry cured hams in the United States, often rivaling the methods of European producers. The production process, which involves rubbing the ham with a mixture of salt, sugar, and spices, and then allowing it to air cure for months or even years, is a highly specialized craft perfected over centuries. 6. The unique legal status of the westernmost tip. Kentucky has a bizarre geographic anomaly at its southwestern corner, where a sliver of its land, known as the Kentucky Bend or New Madrid Bend, is completely cut off from the rest of the state by the meandering path of the Mississippi River. This approximately 17,000-acre piece of land belonging to Fulton County can only be reached by road by first driving through portions of both Tennessee and Missouri. 5. The world's largest fully gated underground storage facility. Deep beneath the city of Louisville lies a former limestone quarry that has been transformed into Louisville Mega Cavern, an immense, privately owned, fully gated commercial storage and business complex. The cavern covers over 4 million square feet and is located about 100 feet underground, offering unparalleled security and constant 58-degree Fahrenheit temperatures year-round. This vast underground complex houses everything from recreational activities to commercial storage facilities and even an immense amount of recycling materials. It's an enormous, climate-controlled, hidden urban center, demonstrating an astonishingly large-scale adaptive reuse of a geological feature, turning a quarry into an economic and logistical powerhouse. 4. The invention of the cheeseburger is credited to Kentucky. While several locations claim to be the birthplace of the cheeseburger, one of the strongest and most historically documented claims comes from Louisville, Kentucky. Lionel Sternberger, who was working at his father's restaurant, The Right Spot, is credited by many food historians with experimenting with adding a slice of cheese to a hamburger bun in 1928. This simple culinary experiment quickly became a nationwide sensation, transforming the humble sandwich into an icon of American cuisine. This unexpected Kentucky origin story for one of the world's most popular sandwiches provides a fun counterpoint to the state's other, more famous gastronomic contributions like fried chicken and the hot brown. 3. The state's pivotal role in the creation of bluegrass music. The genre of bluegrass music is not just named after the state, its roots, development, and primary figures are deeply intertwined with the Kentucky landscape and culture. The music emerged in the 1930s and 40s, primarily through the innovations of Bill Monroe, who was born and raised in Kentucky. Monroe's band, the Bluegrass Boys, gave the genre its name, defining its signature high-energy style, featuring acoustic string instruments and high vocal harmonies. This musical form is essentially a distilled, sophisticated version of traditional Appalachian folk music, and its global influence, carrying the identity of the Commonwealth to international audiences, cannot be overstated. 2. The unseen scale of the water flowing through the state. Kentucky's entire subterranean landscape is carved through porous limestone bedrock, leading to an unfathomable volume of underground water flow. The massive karst systems which feed not only Mammoth Cave, but hundreds of other smaller cave networks, channel vast quantities of water. The flow is so extensive and so crucial that entire regional ecosystems and agricultural practices rely on this hidden plumbing. The volume of water moving beneath the surface is estimated to be large enough to sustain small cities, yet it remains almost entirely out of sight, a perpetual, silent, and immensely powerful geological engine underpinning the entire state. 1. The Commonwealth is the world's undisputed bourbon capital, the final and most defining fact which brings all the previous elements, limestone, pure water, agricultural tradition, and historical industry, together, is that Kentucky is legally and geologically the undisputed birthplace and current epicenter of 95% of the world's bourbon production. A bourbon can be made anywhere in the US, but for cultural, historical, and geological reasons, nearly all of it is made right here. To be called bourbon, the whiskey must be made in the US, distilled to no more than 160 proof, aged in new charred oak barrels, and bottled at no less than 80 proof. This strict legal definition, combined with the state's perfect water chemistry, filtered through limestone, provides Kentucky with a permanent, dominant, and exclusive stake in a globally recognized multi-billion-dollar product. Now that you know these 50 facts about Kentucky, tell us, which one did you like the most, or which one surprised you the most? We'd love to read your opinion in the comments and see how many of us picked the same number. And something else many of us will probably agree on is watching the video I'm leaving on screen, because we all love sharing and learning interesting facts. And that's exactly what this video is all about. But before you watch it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Otherwise, we might not see each other again.